temperatures are driving up summer fish kills. Fish Health Supervisor Isaiah Tolo says this isn't anywhere near the largest fish kill they've seen, but it happened a lot more quickly than it has in years past.
Also just seeing 30% of our total mortality events, so 65 of those events happening in that kind of 4-day window, July 16th to July 20th, was out of the ordinary.
He says this year there have been 217 fish mortality reports across 107 different water bodies, and that northern pike are taking the hardest hit. Finally, a multi-agency safety drill is now underway near the Prairie Island Nuclear Generating Plant in Red Wing. Deputy Director of Homeland Security Emergency Management Kevin Reed says people living near the plant may notice there's a lot going on.
They may see local fire department presence. That's part of the exercise. They may, if they actually end up going to the hospital at St. Elizabeth, they may see some exercise going on there and how we would take care of patients.
WCCO News Time is 3:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And brought to you by Flanagan, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. South 35W already jammed up for the afternoon. 106th Street to head down to Highway 13. West 94 is jammed as well as make way across that St. Croix River Bridge out of Hudson. If you're traveling 35W northbound, not too bad out of Minneapolis as you head up to Highway 10. Flanagan, Minnesota reminds you to slow down when you see orange cones and yellow vests all year round. They're working to improve your infrastructure and build a better Minnesota for you. So please slow down, save lives, keep construction workers safe. Brought to you by Flanagan, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana Green here. I pray you and your family are always safe. But if there's ever a time where you need an advocate after an accident, let Mike Bryant of Bradshaw & Bryant help you. He will work with and for you in dealing with the insurance company. Call 800-770-7008 today. Bradshaw & Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Take a look at the forecast with WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer, brought to you by Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys seeking justice for the injured. You can find them at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
It stays hot and humid, just not dangerously so. Partly cloudy, will fall back to 70 tonight. The wind will be fairly light. Partly cloudy with a high of 92 tomorrow. Not as humid. 93 on Wednesday. Our best shot of rain comes in late on Thursday. That likely spills into Friday.
Right now it's 95 degrees on News Talk 830 WCCO.
The voice of your day, the voice of your state. Minnesota's radio station is News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
It's Monday on Drive Time with DeRusha.
All right, wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute.
Who are you?
I'm back. I got your text. Everybody who said they love the Dan Cook show. So I hopped on a plane and got back here to reclaim my job. Screw you, Dan Cook.
Good to have you back, Jason.
Well, by the way, what is wrong with you? Those of you out, not you, Dan.
Well, thank you, because I was a little uncertain there for a second. I mean, I could talk about what's wrong with me, but we don't know if we have enough show.
What is wrong with you that when I'm on vacation, you think it's a good idea to at me on social media and tell me how great the fill-ins are doing? Oh, we loved Alex Kendall. Oh, Dan Cook was a breath of fresh air. I don't go to your job when you're off and tell your boss, you know what? The 7-Eleven was much nicer when Larry wasn't behind the counter. How about you guys just zip it? Enjoy the fill-in. Enjoy the fill-in. But let me enjoy my vacation without you chiming in and telling me how much better this damn show is without me. It's hurtful. I'm a person. I have human emotions. I know it often doesn't sound like I do on this show. I cried myself to sleep. But that may have become
Could have been some other reasons
May have
behind
been
that, but yeah.
something to do with Montezuma's revenge. It's Jason. Hello, I'm back. Did you miss me? 651-461-9226. Oh, gosh. Let me begin with a segment that if you're a frequent user of Reddit, you are familiar with a section of Reddit called Am I the A Hole? So you get the idea, right? It's a part of Reddit where people explain their scenario, and then you get to chime in. And I'm inviting you to do the same. We spent the last week in Mexico City, which is honestly one of the greatest cities I've ever visited. It is astonishingly easy to get there from the Twin Cities. They have Delta has nonstops every day out of MSP. So you're down there. It's like a 4-hour flight. Boom. It's the same time zone, except they don't do daylight saving. So they were 1 hour earlier, but you don't really have jet lag. You fly down there and you're there. Boom. It was great. Incredible food scene. So many museums, the Frida Kahlo Museum, incredible museum of anthropology that has like this indoor and outdoor component. Beautiful. Food through the roof. From street tacos that cost $4 for 5 tacos to Michelin-starred restaurants. Awesome. Awesome experience. So excited by this experience to these floating gardens that we visited. I created a video to give you a sense as to what it's like. And of course, before I went to Xochimilco, I did a little research. How does this work? What's the custom? I negotiated the price. I haggled. Sort of a common thing that you hear about at a like market, like a street side vendors, this sort of thing. And so I posted this video on my Instagram. Here's how it
Is
started.
it worth it? The legendary floating gardens of Xochimilco and a canal ride on the colorful Trajineras. Tourist trap or must do? Well, you start with a negotiation. There's a government max of 750 Mexican pesos per hour per boat. I offered 250. We went back and forth and landed at about 500, which is 28 American dollars.
Seemed innocuous enough, right? Dan, this is pretty typical stuff you'd see on like TikTok or Instagram. Is it worth it? You got your hook, so people keep watching.
Yeah, until you decided you wanted to rob the poor people of Mexico from making their money.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's sarcasm, by the way.
Now, Alyssa pointed out that I inaccurately characterized that negotiation, that I actually started at 300. Because I had read an article from someone who said the way they did the negotiation was that they started like at 500 and there was nowhere really to go. They started too high. So I thought I'd just go unreasonably low.
There you go.
So they said 700. I said 300. They said 600. I said 500, and we called it a day. The difference between 700 pesos, or 750 rather, that's where it started. But 750 pesos is about $43. 500 pesos is $28. Now, that's easy to do if you're doing the math, but when you hear 250 pesos, you feel like you've really done something there. So that was the first part of the video. And then then this is the part that maybe you'll have a different reaction to at 651-461-9226. asking about haggling, asking about negotiating. Is it allowed? Is it exploitive? Well, then
We went early. The canals open at 9 a.m. They can become a booze cruise-like party by mid-afternoon. While we were out on the canals, other boats kept coming up, selling flower crowns, micheladas, margaritas. Oh, and so many mariachi bands. These guys were great. They said 300 pesos for one song. I got it down to 200, which is about 11 US dollars.
All right, negotiating down from 300 pesos to 200 pesos maybe was more for the love of the game than the actual situation. Am I in the wrong? The comments are astonishing. Maybe not. Maybe it's not astonishing, but here are some of the comments on Instagram, and you can check this out. One poster says, oh, the mariachis, they were great, so let's pay them the very least we possibly can. Cheap Americans don't come back. You think you're getting away with something. People know how to get around cheap tourists. Did I invent haggling? Is it wrong to haggle? Is it racist to haggle? Is it exploitive to haggle? I thought it was the tradition. Jason, you are annoying and rude to be haggling in any country. The price is the price, just like it is in the U.S.
That's demonstrably false. In fact, I think more of the world does this kind of negotiation.
Not according to my comments. You can pay for school, not so much for having class. Ba-bam! This guy is obnoxious and cheap.
Well, that's not necessarily wrong.
Another texter, if you have the money to stay at the Four Seasons, you have the money to pay what they're asking, full price, do better. I do have to give that guy credit for researching where I stayed. That was nice. You make sure you pull that bartering beep back home where you're from. Really, we need less tourists like you. Geesh. Your profile says you're an Emmy winner and an expert on travel. It's missing entitled cheap American. Is it wrong to barter? I will say, I did not barter throughout the rest of the trip, but I had read that was the custom here. And even if it's not, they could have said no. And to act like people don't barter in the U.S., you should see my emails and what people try to get me to do. They're not paying full rack rate on every ad that runs on this station or every social. People are always making a deal.
I think there are two conflicting impulses at war with each other here. We're Minnesotans, right? We love a deal.
We love a deal.
When you compliment a Minnesotan on something they're wearing, what's the first thing that they respond with?
I got it on sale.
At Target, at whatever. Right. That's the
right.
first thing they always say. So we love the good deal. So they love that you're getting a deal. But in Minnesota, we also hate drawing attention to ourselves. So the fact that you promoted that you did this haggling.
Yeah.
You see where I'm saying there's this conflict, right?
I was just trying to tell people this is sort of how it goes. And the maximum is set because I've read that some people try to take advantage of it and will tell you, you walk up and they're like, oh, 2,000 pesos. And people will just pay it and you're not supposed to. 750 is the max. I was a little surprised at
well, you were trying to help people.
I was just trying to be informative. I wasn't bragging,
right.
ha ha, I stuck it to this lady at the gate. also, the socialists of the world who are pissed at me for negotiating are apparently fine with whatever sort of racket runs the boat assignment deal. Like, this woman is somehow, like, how do we know that and that any of the money inside all the boats, it's set on the inside of the boat, your tip is my salary. So I don't think I tipped 500 pesos, the same amount that I gave the mafioso who's running which boat should you get in? But according to Instagram, and a lot of these comments are from Mexico because, the algorithm pushes stuff out. I am apparently a war criminal now. I am not welcome back. I enjoyed the experience. Dead to them.
You were trying to help people in their travels.
Correct.
And you wound up helping the people that just want to hate on folks that aren't as left as they are.
I mean,
you provided a form of help, is my point, just not to the people you were trying to help.
I'll just say that I know that the woke Minnesotans already hate me, and now I can add a couple more countries full of woke people that are mad at me. Lots of texts coming in. We'll share your react because maybe I'm in the wrong. I'm probably not. 651-461-9226. Drive time back in a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Chris Lindahl wants to make a deal with you. It's Jason. Yeah, you can go back and forth on the price with Lindahl if you want to. Maybe, though, you are the kind of person who doesn't like the game of the open market, the game of negotiating back and forth, the uncertainty that comes with selling your house the old-fashioned way. That's why Chris Lindahl created a path for you. If you are the kind of person who wants to go into my comment sections and hate on me, you may be the kind of person that loves the guaranteed cash offer at chrislindahl.com. Big red checks. That's what Chris has been handing out all over Western Wisconsin, all over Minnesota. You've perhaps seen them in your own neighborhood. And it's Chris trying to provide a quicker, easier, low-stress way for you to sell your house. Now, the reality is maybe you have a quick need for money. Maybe you inherited a house or you have a job change or a change in family life. Guaranteed cash offer, perfect for you. But more and more Minnesotans are choosing the guaranteed cash offer as a just way to shave off some stress, to sell the house without dealing with all the drama. Find out if it makes sense for you. Get the process started. Do it online. Chris Lindahl, you know Chris. I know Chris for a long, long time. He's going to take care of you. chrislindahl.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Jason DeRusha
I'm dropping bombs of genius every day on this show.
on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Texters asked me to stop screaming, that they enjoyed the shows last week without the screaming. I'm just an excitable person. I'm an excitable person. I don't mean to be screaming. But like all week, I had show ideas and stuff in Mexico, and Alyssa didn't want to listen to this stuff. She's like, store it up for somebody who cares, buddy.
I knew that was the case when you were texting me from the plane on the way home.
And then I apologized. I'm like, I don't want you to think I'm becoming Chad here and texting you at all hours.
I did appreciate the apology.
We're talking about whether or not I did something wrong in bartering. I will say that there was one commenter who was very, very thoughtful and said, look, I understand bartering on the admission price here, but she said it's sort of embarrassing to like haggle over $7 for the mariachi. And I will. So should I defend myself or should I just accept that feedback, Dan, and move on? Would you like to hear me? It's up to Dan. Would you like to hear me defend myself for negotiating a 100 peso difference for the mariachi, or should I just accept the feedback and move on?
No, I think you should defend yourself.
So other mariachi bands, as we were on this boat ride in the floating floating gardens, the canals of the floating gardens, other mariachis were offering one song for 200 pesos. When we finally decided, you know what, let's do it, that mariachi band said 300. So I was like, well, how about 200? Because that's what the other guys were charging. And this guy was like, okay, and came on our boat and performed, and it was neat. They sounded great. We all had a good time. They got 200 pesos cash. Everybody moved on with their life until I posted about it. Lots of texts and phone calls, too. Let's go. Is it Jonathan, I believe? Oh, Jonathan. Jonathan, I've caused an international incident in Mexico City, which is about right.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back. And first off, before I start my 2-minute rant, you owe Alex Kendall a great thank you, and Dan. And I have to tell you why.
Okay.
Now, you know I love calling into your show. It's your show. I don't work for you. I'm just a listener, right?
Yep.
And by the way, she did a fantastic job. And poor Dan Cook to sit there and learn how to do a new host with no training on her end. Congratulations to her. You really need to send her like a bottle of wine or whatever you want to send her.
Very nice.
But now that I've done being nice, I'm going to be mean to you.
Okay.
Don't be cheap, Jason. Don't be cheap, Jason. Come on.
Is that cheap or is that just? I mean, I tip the boat driver.
Nobody likes that stuff, Jason. It's like putting a violinist at a dining room table. Nobody enjoys that.
Nobody enjoys the tip?
No, the tip is fine, but the music is annoying. Nobody wants that in their boat or a dinner. Honest to God, I can't with you. I mean, you flew first class, Jason, and you didn't tell us a thing about it, or did you? Because I didn't hear.
No, not yet. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to tell all the. I mean, it's just the first half hour. I got 3 hours to kill today, Jonathan. I can't tell all my stories at once.
You know, you're going to spread it out for the rest of the week.
I'm like your annoying uncle who is going to first start with the story about vacation. Then I'm going to serve you a little snack. And then I'm going to get out the slide projector. And then
don't be that drunk uncle at Christmas that nobody wants to hear anymore by the time you're done with the rest of the stories. Because you need to keep some of that stuff private for you and your wife. Your wife is on vacation. She does not need to hear your story ideas for your damn show. There, I said it.
All right. Jonathan, there he is. That's fair. It's fair. I just don't think it's cheap to haggle. But I will tell you, I have learned something about this experience, and that's to not tell people that you bargained. Like, was my mistake in offering a price that the seller of the service accepted and then provided? Was that my mistake? Or was my mistake in telling people about it? It seems that it was telling people. Lots of texts. You're absolutely right about bartering in Mexico. I've been there many times over the years. Another texter, bartering is uncouth. I traveled to Mexico with the Spanish class in the 70s. At least back then, haggling was the custom. We were taught how to do it. We say that's their tradition. They say, damn, Americans are always haggling. That's a very good text from 763. So that is what I am genuinely curious about. Because the truth is, I certainly was not trying to be disrespectful. From all of the articles I read about this, they all talked about haggling. And it was mostly discussed as a way to hedge against people truly ripping you off, right? Charging you above the government maximum. But I've heard from people who paid 300 pesos, who paid 400, like whatever. So I wasn't trying to be a jackass. However, just because you're not trying to be a jackass doesn't mean that you may not, in fact, still be being one. And so I'm open to that possibility. I think what I did, from sort of the thought process behind it, I feel fine about it. I directly tipped the guy who was doing the hard work the same amount of money that it was 100% tip, right? And it's possible that, like, I was being an embarrassing American. I don't know. I certainly don't trust the angry commenters on Instagram to be the be-all, end-all. But also, like, people do negotiate all the time. You negotiate on the price of a house. You negotiate on the price of a marketing agreement. People negotiate all the time. Just because you don't do it at the, Best Buy, does that make negotiating uncouth? You're taking advantage of the people? I don't know. Texter says, I had a friend who would negotiate over anything in the United States. I'll never forget going to the Mercedes dealership to pick up his SL. And the texter says, as he's paying, he sees a Mercedes coffee cup in the case and asks how much it is. $13, she says. I'll give you $9 for it. The clerk was dumbfounded. Clearly, it had never been done before. She could only say, no, it's $13. I mean, if the woman who said $7.50 had said, no, that's it. I would have paid it. I don't know. Actually, I wouldn't. I probably would have walked away and tried one more because, like, I thought that's what you were supposed to do. Let's break. In just a minute, Blois Olson will join us. Man, the Democratic U.S. Senate primary is a slugfest. These two, Angie Craig and Peggy Flanagan, clearly hate each other. Their campaigns hate each other. Their surrogates hate each other. What is going on here? A debate today, an argument over a visit to the ICU and the Hoffman family. We'll talk about it all with Blois Olson in just a minute here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Welcome to the Minnesota Summer Lost and Found. We currently have 1 pair of sunglasses, 3 beach towels, 7 flip-flops, no matching pairs. We have a kid named Brayton found sprinting toward the wild thing at Valley Fair. I'm fine. Still missing 1 sense of direction near the cabin turnoff, and someone's dignity after saying it's not the heat, it's the humidity.
The one thing Minnesotans never want to lose? Their connection to what's going on. Here, you stay informed with trusted updates, smart conversations, and voices that know Minnesota.
We also found 1 olive green Tupperware lid. No container.
What's lost can be found with News Talk 830 WCCO.
When are you moving? Are you dreading your neighbors asking you that when they see a for sale sign in your yard? It's Vanita. Call my friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. The Good Neighbor agent can help you sell your home for full market value. John's vast network and database of buyers helps him sell houses quickly and for top dollar. Terms and conditions may apply.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on News Talk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices, $399 a month, sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Seeing some slowdowns for South 35E as move down from Victoria Street towards Shepherd Road. South 35W slows into the Crosstown Commons past Diamond Lake Road. 94 westbound jammed up Hemlock Lane and over to Weaver Lake Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Gutman Law, Wills, Trust, and Probate Law at gutmanlaw.com. Let's check in with Mr. Hot Stuff, Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
It's another hot and humid stretch of weather that rolls on. We'll fall back to 70 tonight. Partly cloudy the next couple of days. 92 tomorrow, up to 93 on Wednesday. Finally, some rain in the forecast. Looks like it would arrive late Thursday and spill into Friday.
Right now, it is... Oh, is it really 98 degrees? Oh, my gosh. Disgusting. Disgusting on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
He's an operator, baby. Yes.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Well, it's been another busy day in the Democratic DFL primary race for U.S. Senate. I did not expect that the race between U.S. Congresswoman Angie Craig and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan was going to get so nasty. It has been nasty. It has been a knockdown. It has been a drag out, a slugfest. And it does represent a major question that Democrats are being faced with. Is the right path to choose the most stereotypically electable candidate? Is it about progress? Is it about compromise? Is it about legislating? Or are we in a different time where we need fighters who are going to fight regardless of whether or not you get results? That, to me, seems to be the main question. And I know what my personal belief is on the way I want things to be. But the realities of the world today, I don't know that the answer is super clear. A debate today on NPR with Peggy Flanagan and Angie Craig. The First Lady of Minnesota, Gwen Walls, makes an endorsement. And then there's this ongoing argument and controversy over whether Angie Craig sent a Wellstone into the ICU to try to get John Hoffman to endorse her. I don't know, man. All that over the last couple days. Blois Olson is with us. You know him from Morning Take. He is the publisher and editor of The Daily Agenda at thedailyagenda.com. That's where you can sign up for all of Blois's newsletters, and he's with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline right now. Blois, I don't even know where we should start with this because there's just been so much over the last couple of days.
Well, Jason, you're right. It is. I mean, we're 2 weeks out. Tomorrow, 2 weeks from the primary. Next week, we have Farm Fest, so I can guarantee you there'll be some more news. But this is the sprint. The real question that I've had is how many everyday Minnesotans are talking about this. And one of the answers I got Friday when I was with some neighbors was one of my more engaged neighbors who puts out signs in his yard, generally kind of follows the news, was like, now who's running against each other?
Wow.
And that's where I started to be like, you know, those of us in the news business, those of us who follow it closely might be there, but you think about summer in Minnesota and, you know, the way the news year started, you can start to see people's news fatigue would start to wane. And they're like, it's just a primary. I mean, even in my own household, I, you know, was like, are you guys going to vote in the primary? I don't know, whatever, you know? And so I think that's one of the things is we follow this closely. And here's what I do know. Those people who are going to vote in the primary, the majority of them will be tuned in the next 2 weeks. And so that's why these news spikes will definitely impact the race.
Let me play a little bit of a clip from the NPR interview, because the fraud issue, you can see the main lines of attack in this primary. So Angie Craig saying, look, you were the lieutenant governor. You're trying to take credit for the good stuff, but you're not willing to take any responsibility for the fraud.
The lieutenant governor, even as we sit here today, continues to take absolutely no accountability for any of the fraud issues. And she continues to blame the governor. And I'm going to be honest, it's pissing me off. I mean, I'm proud to have the endorsement of Gwen Walz this morning, but it pisses me off that you completely put all of the responsibility on the governor of Minnesota when you were the number 2 elected leader in Minnesota during that period of time. And you know what? Republicans, they're going to have a field day with this with you. And it is my responsibility to warn Democratic primary voters that Republicans are dying to run against you because they believe that you have a unique vulnerability on fraud.
Now, Blois, the reality is Republicans are going to tie any Democrat to fraud. They've tried to say that Senator Amy Klobuchar is responsible for the fraud. So I'm not sure that, you know, I guess I'm not sure about this argument that Lieutenant Governor Flanagan is the only one who's going to get the fraud rip. That said, like, either you were a significant part of the administration or you weren't. I don't see how you can have it both ways.
Exactly. Well, Jason, this is what I've said is first and foremost for listeners, data that we poll all the time. And Minnesota Chamber had a poll a couple months ago. We replicated their questions this last month, and fraud is by far and away the number one concern of Minnesotans. And it's not even using the fraud word. It's fiscal accountability. That's the term that Minnesotans are thinking about this. And it is almost 2.5 to 1 more important in the governor's race. And the Democrats are kind of having headwinds on it to the next closest issue, which is healthcare. So it's an issue no matter what. Second, I do believe that the downplaying of fraud by the Walz-Flanagan administration has become a big issue, including why Tim Walz isn't running again. So I do think it will impact Peggy Flanagan more than other Democrats. But all Democrats are going to face these questions about it. And the idea that, like, you can't come out and say we should have done more faster or admit a mistake, I think is where voters start to say, like, just answer the question. Like, you can say, like, maybe we're too slow. But just saying, like, That was Governor Walz. He did that. And I think it's the kind of thing that you wonder, is that the thing that people look at and go like, I'm just not sure. I'm going to stick with Angie Craig. That's where I think these undecided voters are. And by the way, there's about 15 to 20% of Democratic primary voters still undecided.
Yeah. Sort of amazing, but it does show the divide between those who are like hyper politically aware or hyper online. And some of these issues, they feel like online people issues, just sort of locking down the position of people who have already decided, or frankly, people who have already voted. Early voting's been going on for a while now. I'm sure a lot of people. Let me play what Peggy Flanagan had to say, because Blois, she came. It is, to me, the frustrating thing about politicians who don't want to answer a question, because she came close to saying what you said would be a reasonable answer, but still not quite. Here we go.
Tim Walz said that he wished more had been done sooner. I think we all feel that way.
So close. You're like, just say it. Why is it so hard to just say it? We screwed this up. Yeah. We were not as vigilant. We should have devised systems to catch this earlier. Man, what a wake-up call and what a lesson. And I am dedicated to making sure that Minnesota and American taxpayers never get ripped off again. And then you're sort of done, right? Like, I don't know. That seems like a reasonable answer to me.
Yeah, no, the fraud is going to stay out there as an issue, but that is not the issue that is energizing Democratic primary voters. Yeah. They're energized anti-Trump. They're energized by Metro Surge and pushing back. And that's
and anti-Israel, right? I mean, that also seems to be a major point.
Anti-Israel, anti-Netanyahu. And like, these are big changes, right? Like, the Israel thing is a big shift suddenly for Democrats. And so navigating it is hard. That KSTP poll that showed this race of dead heat last week showed me a couple things. One is younger voters supporting Flanagan, older voters supporting Craig. Well, older voters are more likely to vote in a primary. Vanita said this morning on the air that she had 2 canvassers come to her house last week only looking for her kids. They didn't even care about Jason and Vanita voting. They just wanted to talk to her kids. And so I think that goes to show the precision that the DFL and kind of the more progressive groups are trying to get to as well.
That's so interesting. Blois Olson, thedailyagenda.com. One more controversy that's been bubbling up over the last couple days does involve a man that I have such admiration for, and his family, the Hoffmans, John and Yvette, and what they've gone through. I do. It's hard, man. You get in a campaign and you start saying stuff, and I'm like, I don't really want to take a position on this because I just love the guy. But here was John Hoffman speaking at a Peggy Flanagan sort of rally this weekend.
When her opponent would check on our family, she asked that I endorse her campaign. Yeah, she sent a dear friend out twice, once when I was in the ICU and once at our home. Honest to God, true story. And I'm being public about it because it really irked me.
And so Angie Craig has denied this. I don't know. Is this something that moves the needle for people, or is this more of a political insider thing?
Well, Jason, obviously, I want to be transparent. I represent the Hoffman family on issues related to the shooting and legal media and those kinds of things. I do not represent the Hoffman family or Senator Hoffman on political issues or endorsements or anything like that, nor did I even know this speech was going to happen. Look, I think that trauma and your perception of what was happening when is one thing. I think the timeline, there's some discrepancies in the timelines of these things, and nobody knows what anybody said in the hospital room, nor what somebody was supposed to say in a hospital room. I think this is one of those things that it's best that the dust settle and kind of move on. And I will just say that I don't think anybody wants this, including the Hoffmans, want this to become the ongoing issue of the Senate race.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is one of those. Look, politics is politics, and endorsements you ask for endorsements. It's not skeezy to ask for an endorsement. It's normal. Certainly sending someone to the ICU, if that happened, you're like, oof, I don't know about that. But the way that people perceive it, I think you just sort of have to honor that people feel however they feel about it. To me, it's not.
I will just say that the dates that I've seen in the timeline from all parties involved,
right,
do not suggest that this was just after Senator Hoffman was shot, and I think that's an important distinction.
Is all of this bad for Democrats? I mean, this slugfest between these two.
Well, look, Republicans are going to try to win for the first time in 20 years in Minnesota statewide. And so the idea that Democrats might have a few bumps and bruises when they get to the general election should be better for Republicans. But they have to field their own quality candidates, and they have a problem doing that. Just as Peggy Flanagan's trying to break the cycle of winning with the endorsement statewide, which not a Democrat hasn't done, especially in a competitive race, Republicans are trying to break the cycle of only endorsed candidates winning statewide. And so Republicans have their own challenges. More news on Kendall Claw's running mate came out today. Fundraising numbers in that race will come out later today. And I'm guessing that, there's not going to be a lot of financial resources in the governor's race. And Michelle Tafoya is running her way financially in the Senate race. And if she breaks the cycle against the endorsed candidate, Adam Schwartz, then you're going to have a whole new topic. We'll save that for drive time August 12th, 2026.
Blois, thank you. Blois Olson, thedailyagenda.com. A win for Dr. DuPont when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I tell you what I missed over the last week, being gone, being out of the country? Minnesota pork. You got that right. It's Jason here from my friends, the 3,000 family farmers, every corner of this state. Actually, last night came home, had a pizza, had some sausage on there, some delicious Minnesota pork. There are ways you can support our family farmers. So many different ways, in fact. You think about the pork chop, you think about bacon, you think about that pork tenderloin, no doubt. Great, quick, easy dinner time meals, and especially tonight on a really hot night. Nobody wants to fire up the oven in your kitchen when it's 90 plus degrees out. Get yourself over to tastewhatporkcando.com. That is the website with so many recipes, so much inspiration. Tastewhatporkcando.com. You can go down there and you can sort recipes by different ways of cooking. And I really enjoy that because sometimes you're like, you know what? I want to use the air fryer, or I want to go outside and fire up the grill. They'll hook you up. Get to tastewhatporkcando.com. Get your grocery store and butcher shop. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters brings you the goods with the hit of the summer, Guys and Dolls. You got your delicious dinner. You got your great show. Heck, you got free parking. Such a deal. Guys and Dolls, it's hilarious, romantic. Hit tunes like Luck Be a Lady and Sit Down, You're Rockin' the Boat. This is the high-rolling hit musical for the whole family. And it's your lucky day because I'm going to tell you how to score these tickets. Visit chanhassendt.com and you will hit the jackpot.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Update your window treatments with window images, blinds, and shades. We carry everything you need, including vinyl, aluminum, and faux wood blinds, cellular shades, and more. Plus, get them trimmed to width in-store for free. Save big on window images, blinds, and shades. Check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing.
This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow for westbound 494, 24th Avenue, heading out toward Penn Avenue. Traveling 94 westbound into Minneapolis, that slows past Riverside. Up on the north side, you'll find your slowdowns place west 694 Central to Highway 252. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. Serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
JTR, roofing and siding, that's who we are.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, let's go. It's hot. Heat advisory in effect for tonight until 8 o'clock. Low will be 70. That's not low. Tomorrow, 92. Wednesday, 93. Get used to it. Maybe some rain late Thursday, but we're in a dry stretch as well. 99 degrees in North St. Paul here on CCO.
Steering you through what matters. Drive time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Thanks to JTR Roofing for bringing us the weather forecast. Why don't we say a thank you to Continental Diamond? While we're at it, your Continental Diamond time check is 3:55. Time to get over to St. Louis Park. You know what? Summer. Why not an end of summer gift for someone special in your life? Pre-owned luxury timepieces. They've got a summer sale going on right now. Check out the inventory at continentaldiamond.com. A victory for Dr. DuPont. That's you, Dan.
That's me?
Yeah, you have been an advocate for DuPont coverage. You're a DuPont guy.
I do pay attention to the DuPont.
And this morning, I was reading that, like, we have a near record high DuPont.
It's like up in the 80s?
81.
Oh.
The record, do you know what our record DuPont, are you guys DuPont fans? Are you all about the Dew? At 651.
Do you do the Dew?
619-226.
I do not.
I'm not a big DuPont guy.
I don't know what the record is. No.
82.
Wow.
We're close.
Very close.
I mean, I gave you a clue when I said it was a near record high, like you probably. That was in 2011.
I'll let you do the reveal. I mean,
you didn't want to just, yeah. We haven't had a dew point this high in 15 years. Have we overdone it with weather records? You know what I mean? Like, do we need this record? Oh, well, it's been 15 years since we saw a dew point like this. Who cares?
I mean, do you feel a little better knowing that it's so gross outside and that this is a rarity that it's this gross?
No. Like, I know. I
find it moderately consoling.
I walked through downtown today. It was fine.
It was not fine. It's grotesque out there. It is not fine. That is not fine.
Maybe you need
You're
more,
relativizing, trying to,
maybe
deal
you
with
need
it.
more breathable fabrics. I mean, look at this shirt that I have on right now. There are all these holes in it. The National Weather Service from the Department of Idiotic Data Points says the Twin Cities has only spent 28 hours with a dew point above 80 degrees before today. I mean, I get it. That's your bit. You work at the Weather Service. You love dumb data.
Andrew on YouTube says it's basically a code red outside. Can't argue with that.
No, it's true. It's true. We're going to break. Adam Carter is a dew point enthusiast. I had no idea. Congratulations to Edina. A loss to the bike cabal when we come back.
Lisa Davis, a Republican who delivers results.
And I led the charge in rooting out billions in fraud and waste.
To stop the fraud, you need a governor who won't back down. Lisa Damuth gets the job done. Lisa Damuth understands. To make Minnesota affordable again, we must fight fraud. Lisa Damuth knows. To create good-paying jobs for Americans, we must stop payments to illegal aliens.
I led the way to end taxpayer funding of health care for illegal immigrants.
In the legislature, Republican Lisa Damuth fought the fraudsters. Now, Lisa Damuth's running for governor.
Let's start our Minnesota comeback right here and right now.
America's PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by America's PAC and not authorized by any other candidate or committee. AmericasPAC527.com.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
What's news? What's noise? Discover the difference here. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. After 2 weeks of renewed hostilities between the U.S. and Iran, there is a pause in airstrikes. ABC's Rachel Scott has more.
Sources tell me today that President Trump is now holding off on a major escalation against Iran to give way for diplomacy to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. I'm told the president was prepared to launch a series of strikes on Friday, but decided to hold off. Sources also say officials discussed the impact a major attack could have on the U.S.'s depleting stock of air defense interceptors.
President Trump claims Iran wants to restart talks. Funeral services for the late Senator Lindsey Graham will take place tomorrow and Wednesday in Washington, D.C., and also in Graham's home state of South Carolina. Israel's prime minister and Ukraine's president will attend events in D.C. Both will also hold separate meetings with President Trump. In Seattle, a 15-year-old is in custody and police are still searching for a second suspect following last night's deadly shooting at a food festival in Seattle. 3 people were killed and 4 others injured. ABC's Alex Stone has more.
Law enforcement believes that it was gang violence and that these were 2 opposing groups that were going after one another and they got into a fight, not your traditional active shooter or terrorism or something like that. But the end result was the same in that innocent victims were hit, including a 2-year-old child.
In Germany, police say a 21-year-old man responsible for the vehicle and machete attack during a Pride event in Berlin is dead. Authorities say he was shot and killed following a manhunt. ABC's Britt Clennett is in Berlin.
We know that he was arrested in Lebanon last year for trying to join Islamic State. That's according to prosecutors in Germany. So certainly this person has a history of criminal activity and links to those extreme groups.
No one held the winning numbers in Powerball and Mega Millions drawing over the weekend. The combined jackpots now top more than $1 billion. You're listening to ABC News.
If you have Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hot at 95 at 402. I'm Taylor Rivera. Day use permits open back up today for the Boundary Waters canoe area, despite several wildfires still burning. At a press conference earlier this morning, Republican State Representative and former Ely Mayor Roger Scabra expressed hope about the situation.
I'm hoping that the weather, the teams, everyone working together, we can open this Boundary Waters sooner than later. We've all been told, wait for the snow. I think we put a pretty good hammer on it.
Leaders will decide by Thursday whether to allow overnight use of the Boundary Waters again. A community meeting at Ely Memorial High School tonight will provide additional updates. Former DFL state senator and meteorologist Nicole Mitchell doesn't believe her past burglary conviction is a distraction to her campaign for Woodbury City Council. She was convicted of breaking into her stepmother's home in Detroit Lakes and resigned from the Senate last year. She's currently appealing the case. On the WCCO Morning News with Vanita Sakar, Mitchell says she's been out door knocking daily and only got chewed out by one person.
Most people, though, they just want to know that you're going to do what you say when you serve. And so
people mostly just want to talk about taxes and whether or not we're going to keep our parks nice and public safety and things like that.
Woodbury Election Day is August 11th. 2 of the 4 council seats are up for election. Experts are tracking an uptick in fish kills across Minnesota.
As Minnesota sees record temperatures and another heat wave moves through, the DNR fishery teams are on high alert. They've logged 217 fish mortality reports across 107 different water bodies. Fish health supervisor Isaiah Tolo says what makes this recent fish death unusual is that the cool water species like northern pike are taking the hardest hit.
Generally, northern pike are not the number one species that we see in fish mortality events. Usually we see centrarchid species in lakes that are pretty impaired and don't necessarily have really strong populations of northern pike in them.
Tolo says the DNR will continue tracking upcoming weather patterns to see if the ongoing heat triggers another mortality surge. Gracie Stockton, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Who's that? Who's that voice? I take a week off and we got a new person on the air?
I mean, Steve retired. We've got to get somebody to do the job.
It's like she's got like a big time radio voice, don't you think?
Yeah.
What do we think of this Gracie? What's her name? Gracie
Stockton.
Yeah, what do we think?
Very hardworking, sweetheart.
Oh, hardworking.
WCCO News Time is 4:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Get ready for your slowdown South 35W through downtown Minneapolis. North 35W slows as well as you come up from Lake Street. Traveling Highway 100, watching slowdowns there both directions between Excelsior Boulevard and 394. South 169 is jammed up 494. Is head down to Highway 101. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Let's take a look at the forecast with WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer, brought to you by Staples.
It stays hot and humid, just not dangerously so. Partly cloudy, will fall back to 70 tonight. The wind will be fairly light. Partly cloudy with a high of 92 tomorrow. Not as humid. 93 on Wednesday. Our best shot of rain comes in late on Thursday. That likely spills into Friday.
Right now it's 95 degrees on News Talk 830 WCCO.
The more you listen, the less you'll miss. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Have we gone too far with bike lanes? There's been pushback for sure. It's been a major issue. Not just in the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, but in the suburbs as well. It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time. 651-461-9226. The latest conflict over parking versus bike lanes versus drivers, business owners, happened in Edina. And for the first time I can remember in Minnesota in the last decade or so, parking won over bike lanes. Edina voted to eliminate kind of a specialized bike lane on Wooddale Avenue. So the Star Tribune reporting about this. Wooddale was supposed to get new bike lanes, and this is the trade-off, and we've seen it like in uptown Minneapolis. We've seen this dispute, a massive dispute with Summit Avenue in St. Paul, where residents along Summit are pretending that they're worried about the trees on Summit, but really they just don't want kind of a dedicated, separated bike lane down their road. I do find it interesting that in Edina, they said, you know what, we're not doing it. Unanimously, the city council voted to leave the street the way it is when they kind of resurface the street. And every time you resurface, the way things have been going in most suburbs, certainly in the inner ring, in the inner suburbs, is that you get bike lanes. I will say that I am concerned that the pushback against bike lanes is ill-advised. I do understand that people feel like the bikes have too much power. In a city where, in a state where it's cold in the winter, why are we creating kind of so much space for people to ride bikes when, business owners want parking? And there's a major dispute along Lyndale Avenue right now in Minneapolis, where business owners are saying, look, we don't want to give up the parking. We do not want all these bike lanes that are mostly not going to be used. We'd rather have the parking because we are a car-centric community. We just are. We're very suburban. People have driveways. They have garages. We are a car-centric community. And I do think there was a point where it's like, oh, we're building these bike lanes. Anything the bike people want, we got to do. I do bike. I like having bike lanes. I like feeling safe. Having just a striped bike lane isn't much safety. Having like a divided bike lane does make you feel much safer. And I guess in my mind, I wish people in this community would get used to just walking a block or two. Like, you don't have a God-given right to have a parking spot right in front of wherever you're going. Let's go to Clark in Edina, 651-461-9226. Did we go too far, though? Did we go too far with bike lanes, and now the pushback is here? Clark, what do you think about the situation in Edina?
Well, I'm not sure if we've gone too far necessarily, but I happen to work at the church right there on Wooddale and 50th. Yeah. And it's, years ago they did this. They put in some bike lanes and they painted the whole thing. And then somehow it didn't work or something. And they went and somehow got all the lines taken away. And now they're doing it again. And so I'm not quite sure. Unless what you were saying that there's an article in the Star Tribune, so I don't know. Have they?
So the city council,
yeah,
the city council unanimously voted to keep the on-street parking, and so they are not going to create new bike lanes. And this was part of their plan, and we've seen this. St. Louis Park has had this issue. Edina, a lot of the inner ring suburbs, especially, have been trying to create more infrastructure to make things a little more walkable, by requiring sidewalks, and a little more safe for bikers by requiring bike lanes. But I do think business owners start to feel like, does anybody care about us? Why is it all about having a bike lane?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's if there would be a way to have the bike lane on the opposite side. I don't know if that really doesn't work because you're going with traffic, and so it's kind of a bad deal. And sadly, they built this church in 1937 just for a community, just the neighborhood, with no parking, so they all walk to church, So,
oh, right.
But anyway, we somehow managed, but,
It makes it tough. Thanks, Clark. Appreciate it. It is tricky. Like, initially, they were going to put protected bike lanes. And then they said, well, what if we just, stripe it to have some regular bike lanes? This street, a lot of it, and there is the church there, but a lot of it is just parking in front of homes, not parking in front of businesses. And frankly, like in some of the inner ring suburbs, what you have is a situation where people aren't parking in their garage, so they want to park in front of their house, or they want a parking spot for a guest. I don't know. I think we have this. I feel like we have this unnecessary conflict. And I realize like I sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth on this issue, because part of me feels like the bike lanes are being shoved down people's throats. The other part of me is like, this has been part of the plan for our community for a long time. We are a bike-friendly community, but we also, I think we're sort of in the city itself, we're antagonistic towards people in cars. And you have this conflict, right? Because there's only X amount of pavement. So what do you do? Texter says, I think it was insane to take away parking on Hennepin and Uptown for the bike lanes. Another texter says, I don't like the bike lanes when they take away parking or make the roads narrowed. Just make the sidewalk wider to accommodate people walking and biking. I don't know about that. I do think that, like, in suburban neighborhoods, bikers can just ride on the street, right? Like, on major corridors in the city, do you need bike lanes and protected bike lanes? You probably can make an argument that you do, right? The Midtown Greenway is awesome. That does its thing. But does every freaking street need a bike lane? I guess I'm talking myself into being more annoyed by the push for bike lanes all the time. I do think you need a transportation system for people on bikes. But every time you redo a street, you got to put in a bike lane? No, I don't think so. Jason, bikes are a huge pet peeve for me. For the life of me, why would a bike rider want to bike down a busy road? As a car driver, I don't trust bike riders, as I've got some pretty fancy bike riders not following the rules, but my car is going to win. And if something were to happen, I would have to live with it. I mean, that is something there, right? As a car driver, you're mad at bikers, even though you're probably going to kill them if they screw up. But the guilt that you'd live with is the bad part. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. Another texter, I know the Midtown Greenway is not in a street. It's off street in a gulch. Yes, there is infrastructure for bikes. What you need connected to the Greenway is infrastructure then to get people around the city. Do you need it on every street? The Lyndale situation is tricky. I think part of the challenge with Lyndale and Minneapolis is that business owners over there have been through COVID. They've been through negative effects from street construction that happened on Hennepin, and that did affect their neighborhood. And they're worried it's going to be another 2 years of disruption to their business. And I will say, in a time right now where I think Minneapolis is largely giving the middle finger to business, it'd be nice to do something nice for the businesses. And that road reconstruction project is tied to federal funding that expires if they don't do it now. So I don't know. These are difficult scenarios. They really are. Lots of texts coming in. Welcome more conversation. Have we gone too far? Do the bike crowd, do the bike advocates have too much power? Edida pushes back and says no. 651-461-9226. Drive time back in a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Hi, this is Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. For years, you've heard our messages about safety, no texting campaigns, and community awareness. But now, I'd really love to hear from you. What matters most to you? What do you think about our messages? Please go to our website, hit the big red button, and share your thoughts. MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. I truly hope you're never in a collision, but if you are, please call us first.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Bradshaw & Bryant.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Jason DeRusha.
I don't think he's funny. I don't think he's been funny for years.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Pushback against bike lanes, dedicated bike lanes, nothing new, but for a city council to actually vote them down is unusual to me, worth talking about, because this is an issue that the cities, of course, grapple with. But we also know that it's a major issue in so many suburbs that are trying to be more bike friendly as well. Let's go to the phone. Sean is in Brooklyn Park at 651-461-9226. Sean, what do you want to say?
Yeah, hi, and thanks for taking my call. I think this kind of puts in kind of stark contrast the way that Minneapolis has gone about implementing their plans. Because to me, you can have bike lanes, and that's fine. And you can say, I want more walkable, livable neighborhoods, and that's fine too. And it's fine if that's uptown. But that's a long-term decision that has short-term financial impacts for the businesses that are there. And if you're going to make such a big long-term decision, you also have to have some mechanism in place to make sure that the businesses that make it livable and make it a destination and desirable can still be there. And that to me is the biggest failure. You can make big decisions, but you have to understand the other decisions you need to make to support them.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are funds. And the mayor actually took some criticism last time for the Hennepin project that the city council in Minneapolis did dedicate some money to be distributed to business. But it's never enough in trying to pick all right, how much money do I give to who for whatever their I mean, we don't have the money to make these businesses whole for the money they're going to lose. And we do need to improve our infrastructure and fix our roads and fix the sewers. It is a tough scenario. It absolutely is. But you do need, I've always said that should be part of the construction cost, that should, if you can't cover at least a decent amount of trying to make the businesses more whole, then maybe you need to find another funding source or another path. Yeah, thanks, Sean. Let's go to Marcus in St. Paul. Bike lanes. This has been a big issue in St. Paul along Summit. Marcus, what do you think? Do you think the bike lane movement or obsession has gone a little too far?
Yes, sir. I've biked over 60 years in the cities. When we grew up, we didn't have bike lanes. We seemed to be able to be okay, finding out where we needed to be. we were safe and we were respectful. And another thing is when
But don't you think the cars are more dangerous though today, Marcus? I mean, they're bigger, they're heavier, they're taller. So if you hit a biker, your odds of making it are worse. I mean, I do think cars and drivers are more dangerous today.
The drivers, I agree with the driver part. They're definitely not
distracted.
Not
exactly.
Yeah. And my last thing is, I think that when they changed Lyndale South and Hennepin and cut the lanes off for vehicles. So my thing is, when it snows 15 inches of snow, people aren't biking in the bike lanes. So then we have less accommodation for our vehicles. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair. Thanks, Marcus. It is a challenge. Like, you do want parking in front of business. I know that there are people in Minneapolis that would never like any cars to ever exist. And that's fine. You're allowed to have that belief. But you're also, I'm allowed to tell you that I think you're crazy. Like, we are a car-driven, largely suburban society. It is what it is. Like, do I wish that we were not so suburban? Yes, I do. Texter says, Jason, cars are way smaller and lighter than they were before. What are you talking about? Are you serious? Everyone is driving around with SUVs and pickup trucks. That is the predominant car on the road right now. And everything has a much higher bumper. It's part of the reason that pedestrian fatalities are so high compared to what they used to be. It's not that walkers are just all over the place. The problem is that the cars are designed, yes, for the safety of the driver of that individual car, but cars are not designed for the safety of pedestrians or for bikers. They're heavier, they're bigger. Maybe individually, like, an electric car is lighter than a similar sedan, but look at what people are choosing to drive. They're choosing to drive the bigger cars. Why not? A lot of people are interested in putting the bikes on the sidewalk. I guess I would ask you, do you want to go take a walk from your house and have, the Greg LeMond zipping by like it's the Tour de France? Well, please. Texture, Minneapolis was walkable long before bike lanes. There are literally sidewalks on every street, both sides. Sure, but trying to have the bike infrastructure is more of the challenge. Hennepin Avenue business corridor is decimated. Up next is Lyndale, is big bike anti-business. Yeah, I think yes. It's also, though, you have to take a look. Sometimes, is the business owner always being, like, everyone's standing up for their own interest, right? The business owner is standing up for their own interest in front of their own store. It is reasonable to say, you know what, it's more important to society to redo the road. Now, I do think on Lyndale, business owners have been just throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. So I don't, first the complaint is, well, we don't want to give up our parking. Next, the complaint is, well, we don't want this construction project to happen because we know it's going to hurt business and it's going to take 2 years. Well, what's the issue? Are you upset about the design of the road? Are you upset about the construction? They're just upset about everything. I don't blame them, but I also don't have an obligation to entertain that argument as being a legitimate argument, I do think in the suburbs, though, some of this is like wish. It's like wish design. We wish we have more people biking. We wish there were fewer people driving. So we're going to just build the infrastructure and maybe the people will come. And I do not think it's that smart. I do not think it's that smart. Now, in Maple Grove, where we raised our kids, I love the fact that when you build a new housing development, you're required to build a bike path infrastructure. So you sort of connect and you have this whole city connected. It's awesome. If you're Edina, you're already built out. So you're trying to figure out how to do that. And if you have parking in front of your road, do you want to give it up to have a bike lane there? Probably not. In front of your house? Probably not. Texture, cars are fine. Pedestrians don't belong on roads. Some of you drivers have to face a little bit of reality for the accountability that the vehicles have today. It's just reality. I'm not saying like, oh, we should not have big cars. But if you think that our cars today are smaller than what they used to, I would invite you to just maybe put your head on a swivel and take a look around. Yes, like compare. Maybe some of you are texting from like a 1965 Cadillac. Yes, the cars used to be enormous. If we're talking about the Back to the 50s car show, yes, those cars were enormous. Bike lanes I've seen run parallel to parked cars. I worry about parked car door opening. That is, when I'm biking, I am so nervous that somebody's going to open their door. And when I open my door, I'm nervous that I'm going to open the door right into somebody. Texter points out the reality. Both of these things are legitimate arguments that construction is harmful, as well as the design. In favor of the business owner. Sure, but, you don't get to jump in at the end of the design. This is the problem with the way things go in Minneapolis and in every city. No one pays attention to jack. And then when all of a sudden the rubber hits the road, you're like, whoa, nobody asked me about this. Well, get involved. Get involved earlier. You don't get to get involved at the last second. Complain about the design that has been approved for 10 years. And then anyone's supposed to take you seriously. Let's break. In a minute, a Monday message from our friend Dan Cook about political endorsements and churches. We are hitting that season again. Should churches endorse political candidates? Some are saying, why should churches be excluded from this process? We'll talk about it when we come back on Drive Time.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I've been texting today with my friends at Luther Kia of Bloomington, my buddy Dan Dingman. It's Jason here for the best Kia dealer in the Twin Cities and just the greatest people. You are going to love Luther Kia of Bloomington, and you are going to love their brand new facility right where 35W and 494 come together. In Bloomington, Luther Kia of Bloomington is stunning. So I've been texting them about tires. I need tires. I got a Kia Stinger. I'm at about 100,000 miles on that bad boy. I love that Kia. I love that car. And the team at Luther Kia Bloomington told me, they're like, Jason, we're doing buy 3 tires and get the 4th for $1. And they've got price match guarantees. So I know a lot of people think like, oh, why would you get get your tires at the dealer? I'm saying, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Because you've got the certified technicians that know your car better than anybody else. If something else needs to be done on your car, it can be done at the same time. And you know that the team at Luther Kia Bloomington is going to take care of you. If you need a new car, you got to get to Luther Kia Bloomington. Kia is one of the hottest car brands in America right now. Hybrid SUVs getting you quality gas mileage, 35 miles to the gallon. The 3-row Kia Telluride is so hot, and you can get it in a hybrid right now. Go check it out. Beautiful new facility. Tell Dan that you heard me talking about him on CCO Radio. LutherKiaofBloomington.com.
For 3 months, we've all heard, wait until they get healthy. Wait until the schedule gets easier. Wait until July. Well, it is July. The stretch run starts now.
Larnach shoots it through the left side, and there's your base hit. Trevor Larnach has given the Twins their first lead of the ball game.
Every pitch, every hit, every impactful moment happens right here.
Deep right field for Roden. That ball is off the wall, and the Twins will win it.
Your home for Minnesota Twins baseball. News Talk 830 WCC.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, they're funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. LendSeek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. LendSeek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with zero out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. Lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And things are slow for South 169, making their way between 494 and Old Shakopee Road. South 35W jammed up 106th Street. You head to Highway 13, 35 East southbound slows as make way past Victoria Street, heading down to Shepherd Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by Gutman Law, wills, trust, and probate law, gutmanlaw.com. Here's Chris Schaefer.
It's another hot and humid stretch of weather that rolls on. We'll fall back to 70 tonight. Partly cloudy the next couple of days. 92 tomorrow, up to 93 on Wednesday. Finally, some rain in the forecast. Looks like it would arrive late Thursday and spill into Friday.
Right now in downtown Minneapolis, 96 and sunny here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
It's so bold. It's adventurous. It's edgy. You know, it's
risky.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Dan, people are very engaged in the weight of cars conversation. And I'm here to tell you that that is something that does not fully interest me.
Which is moderately surprising since you do love a good low-stakes argument.
I do.
And this would seem to qualify as very much low stakes.
Texter is saying electric cars weigh more than gas cars because they're large batteries. My main point, let's not get in the weeds too much. And I am here to say that I am not a weight expert when it comes to vehicles. I'm just saying cars today are more dangerous than they used to be to a pedestrian or to a bicyclist, because my main issue is the higher bumper. You're on these SUVs, you're on these pickup trucks. And so if you get clipped in one of those, it's more potentially serious. It's potentially more serious for you. So that's all. That's all I meant by that. I'll let you guys fight it out. Dan, speaking of fights, there's a lawsuit going on that made me think of
Nobody ever fights over politics and religion, Jason.
Right.
Silly.
Churches are nonprofits. When you're a nonprofit, you get a lot of benefits in this country, right? You don't have to pay property taxes, for example. And that tax-exempt status is a major benefit. But in the United States, part of that deal is like, okay, you get to be, and this dates back to 1954, tax-exempt 501c3s, like churches or charities, are banned from directly or indirectly participating in politics. And specifically, you're not allowed to endorse or oppose individual candidates. And it's always sat a little strange with me that like we take such an important part of American life and say, but you don't get to weigh in on this. Now, I was raised Catholic, and in the Catholic Church, Mass is a pretty, like, I don't know. I've never gone to a Catholic church that is talking about individual people, individual candidates. That's just not what they talk about in the gospel. It's not. And then the rest of the Mass is pretty much, it's the bit. It's the same thing. It's the repetition.
It's the liturgy, and then
It's the
there's
liturgy.
a short homily.
So this is not like a massive part of my religious upbringing.
It's far more of a Protestant issue, yeah, especially in the South.
So right now there's a lawsuit challenging this so-called Johnson Amendment. And so different nonprofits, churches, want to be able to endorse. And they're saying this rule violates my First Amendment right to freedom of speech. Now, you are a minister. You went to seminary. And so I was really curious about your perspective on this as to whether or not churches should be in the business of doing this sort of thing.
And that's just it. I think
because it's a should versus a legal,
right? That's just it. I mean, I don't, maybe this is legally a First Amendment violation, and the courts will rule on that when they do. When we talk about the separation of church and state, we usually talk about that from a state perspective, from a political perspective. But I want to offer up more of a spiritual, theological church perspective, because I think having that separation is important, not only civically and politically, but it's also important spiritually, because the job of the church isn't to run the state. That's what we've always thought in this country, right? We've seen too many examples back in old Europe and other colonial areas that when the church tries to run state operations, that goes very, very, very poorly, because the church isn't designed to do that. And they're not qualified to do that. And they shouldn't do that. And that's why I would say I think it's a horrible idea for any church to be offering up specific endorsements for a couple of reasons. One, it opens the door to corruption. It just does, right? You're going to tell me that somewhere out there, there's not going to be a church where a corrupt pastor isn't going to offer up their endorsement to the highest bidder?
Yeah.
I mean, give me a break.
Or the flip, the corruption that you could see on the government side, where you're trying to get the endorsement, and so who knows what you offer up.
That's just it. And it just, you open a door in a way that is unhealthy for the church in that regard. Plus, the church isn't supposed to be an endorsement machine. It isn't supposed to be a backer of political factions. The church is supposed to exist as a third rail, to look at any government anywhere and say, here's the problems, folks, or here's how we need to help people. But it needs to do that from the outside. It's why I found it so hilarious earlier this year when the Trump administration was ripping Pope Leo, saying he should stay in his lane. Pope Leo was doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing as the leader of the largest Christian denomination in the world. Are you kidding me? He's supposed to be able to be critical not political, but he's supposed to be critical and engaging with different countries and different political movements at all times. But he has to do that from a separated status. He can't, if you start endorsing somebody, then you can't offer up a potent criticism of them, or any criticism you offer the other side seems to be partisan in nature. The only way to really make any serious social commentary as the church is to be separated fully from any political party or faction.
Because that gives you moral standing.
It gives you credibility. It gives you integrity. At least gives you a shot at it. As soon as you start endorsing candidates, you have sold out any hope of spiritual integrity.
Do you think, and I guess before I ask you what you think, I should say what I think, which is that I believe there are a number of churches that are churches, they're more political organizations than churches. They're taking advantage a little bit of the tax law. And that I guess my gut feeling on this is like, if you want to wade into politics and be like sort of a moral / political organization, that's fine. But why should you be tax exempt? Why should you have the same sort of, and maybe we're getting to a point in the world where politics and religion have become, and getting to, it's always been connected, but it's more overt, where you say, is there really a reason to make these a 501c3? And you get into sort of the arcaneness, but the bigger theory is like, hey, should this operate the same place in society that like a private college or a private school does?
I mean, I do understand.
Maybe nothing should be tax exempt. We should just be done with that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that idea. And I'm not a fan of that idea for, I get the fact that people look at some of these mega churches and go, look at all this money here, and you're telling me they can't afford to chip in and pay taxes. Are you kidding me? But that excludes all of the small neighborhood churches that exist by the skin of their teeth and through donations of their congregants. And you start charging those folks taxes, and all you're going to have is mega churches. That's my point. You eliminate that small,
It's interesting.
And to me, the small community church does way more of the work of God than the mega church does. So I'm not a fan.
But maybe you make the bargain. You say, if you want to play in politics, that's cool. Like, we're not going to restrict you from that, but you just don't get the tax write-off.
The trick is that it's a very fine line between saying that my spirituality and my faith helps form the decisions that I make when I go to the ballot box, because I think that is the job of the church, right? Is to form people into followers of Christ. And so, and in that trajectory for how you're living, that should have an influence, that should have a say on how you vote. I don't know that means we need to start picking candidates. And I don't know that means we should even be attached to any political party, because again, I think the church should have the right to be able to be a critic of all society, including both factions. So to say, what constitutes wading into politics then, right? Is where do you draw that line?
Well,
how do you say
it's if you wade into politics that
you
disagree
don't
with
like.
me,
Exactly.
then
so
then
that's
I'm calling the IRS.
Exactly. And that's why I don't necessarily want to see that either. I think,
it's
how,
tricky because
how we live our lives as followers of Jesus absolutely should play a role in what kind of political decisions we make. What English we put on that depends, church to church and community to community. So to try and separate that fully from politics, I just think is impossible.
Yeah, it is an interesting conundrum with this requirement, right? And a texter says, we left a parish because the priest told us if we didn't vote for the pro-life candidate, our souls would be in danger and we could no longer receive communion.
I'm so sorry that somebody would abuse the gospel that way. That's disgusting. And that pastor should be ashamed of themselves. That's, again, you can be pro-life and you can talk about how important pro-life is. When you start threatening your congregants like that with separation, I'm sorry, that's just, you've now lost the plot.
But the line between something like that, which would be like acceptable sort of theological commentary, perhaps, and literally endorsing a candidate, you're sort of splitting hairs here, right? Like, if that's what's going on, you kind of know what they're telling you to do.
If they say something like that, then you
but
are.
Even if they didn't say like your souls would be in danger, if you were up there saying like, well, our religion believes pro-life, and when you go to the ballot box, you should be considering that.
Right. And then
feels safe, and then feels legal, but yet you sort of know what they're saying.
It is, because they're not saying this particular candidate represents this view, because then you have to have the conversation about what does it mean to be pro-life. People hear that term and immediately what do they think of? Abortion, right? That's the first issue they think of.
Right.
But to find life to be sacred, to be in favor of life, means 1,000 things other than abortion.
Sure, but
right?
that's not what they're talking
about,
of course.
It's not. But I'm saying if you're a church community, those are the conversations I believe you should be having.
Yeah.
And then what does it mean to be pro-life, and how does that influence politics? Those are deep discussions that have a whole lot of different tendrils to them.
It's tricky. The tax status, that I totally agree with you. The fact that you have this tax exempt status allows small churches to do their thing. And at the same time, having a special privilege when what you really want to do is, influence people in politics. And there's a bigger thing in the South than it is here, but it exists here. And I don't know, it's tricky.
It is tricky. And like I said, I don't pretend to know
same with nonprofits,
the First Amendment, implications of it. But I do think, however you want to argue it from the state side, I do think we should be arguing from the church side. No, this is a bad idea. And we've seen it throughout church history over and over, go all the way back. Go all the way back to, Jesus and his ministry, right? Every time one of the factions tried to loop him in and say, no, aren't you on our side? What did he do? He dodged them and turned their arguments upside down because he had no interest in political faction. He had no interest in that argument today. He had a much, much bigger picture in mind, and that's what the church should be preaching and teaching, not, oh, hey, vote for X, Y, or Z on Tuesday.
Good stuff. Thank you for this,
You bet.
man. We're going to break in a minute. A little bit of breaking news on prediction markets. This has been an ongoing thing. Minnesota trying to ban those prediction markets. This was a topic of the debate today with Angie Craig and Peggy Flanagan. Where are you guys at on prediction markets? Minnesota trying to get rid of them. I think we as a state have screwed this up big time. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
All right. When I was in Mexico City, before I went, I reached out to Dr. Mohiba Tureen and the team at Tureen Dermatology. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Jason, why would you talk to your dermatologist before you go on vacation? But the reason is that I knew I was going to be at altitude. I knew I was going to visit some pyramids. And I knew that I needed to protect my skin. This is UV Safety Awareness Month. For good reason, right? We're spending more time outside. We're spending more time in the sun. And Dr. Tureen was telling me that UV rays, yeah, you know you get the sunburn. But it's the leading cause of wrinkles, of sunspots, and of skin cancer. So I got loaded up with some special sunscreen for my face. And then Tureen Dermatology actually has their own like spray-on sunscreen that I just love because it didn't have the aerosol and it didn't go on like all sticky and gross. You kind of rub it in. It was very nice. And right now, if you go to TureenDermatology.com, go to the drop-down menu and click on store. You click on store, you'll see the July specials, 20% off all of their sunscreen. And I've tried all of these different sunscreens. It is awesome stuff. Dermatologist approved. Go to TureenDermatology.com. Check out their sunscreen selection. And don't forget to make an appointment. Tureen Dermatology welcoming new patients at their 11 locations all over Minnesota and western Wisconsin. They will get you in within 3 weeks. It's the Tureen Dermatology guarantee. Check them out at TureenDermatology.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now, stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw & Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slow down the place. Jebel southbound 35 E's, move past Victoria Street, heading down to Shepherd Road. Got your slowdowns in place. 494 westbound past Cedar Avenue as you head out toward Penn Avenue, if you're up on the northwest corner of the Metro, got your typical slowdowns there. West 94, Hemlock Lane to Weaver Lake Road. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
From the streets of New York to the cafes of Havana, Guys and Dolls is a high-rolling Tony Award-winning musical spectacular. I'll wager you're gonna love it and get a good bang for your buck. Guys and Dolls at Chanhassen Dinner Theaters. Snag those tickets. Visit ChanhassenDT.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Chanhassen Dinner Theater bringing us the weather. Get your tickets to Guys and Dolls at ChanhassenDT.com. Tonight, heat advisory in effect for the next about 3 hours. Low will be 70, but it's going to be hot the next couple days. 92 tomorrow, 93 on Wednesday, 10 degrees above our normal average high. It is 96 in Minneapolis on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha, where the conversation's always in drive. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I got Jonathan in Minneapolis telling me it feels like 100 outside. It sure does. It is hot, hot, hot. And this week, if you're looking for a place to look, some of you like the heat. Minneapolis Club. Patio. Are you sitting on the patio when it's 92? I might. Breathable fabric, Dan Cook. Telling you. It'll solve all your problems. All your problems. Sitting on that patio at the Minneapolis Club. You don't have to be a member. You could just be hanging out at Charlie's. Boom. They got you covered every afternoon. And if maybe you like air conditioning, you can go inside as well. At the Minneapolis Club. So we're going to be doing that with Sam. When he comes back, Sam's on a plane on his way back from the Philippines. His summer internship has come to an end. Not bad. The breaking news is that a federal judge put the Minnesota law that banned those prediction markets, Kalshi and Poly Market. The judge put this on hold. So it's just a preliminary injunction, but a U.S. district judge said, yep, we'll put this on hold. So you can still go to Kalshi and Poly Market if you're into it. I think that Minnesota really messed this whole thing up, that we had a chance to regulate sports gambling, and I think that would have opened up to regulating and having some guardrails on prediction markets. And instead, we couldn't get it together on sports gambling, which just had Minnesotans who wanted to do that off in the black market, breaking the law, but with no consequence. And then we said, well, we're just going to ban Kalshi. And look, I don't particularly like any of this stuff, but I would have preferred if we would have just regulated. We'll see what happens with this lawsuit, but basically, you know what prediction market stuff is. You can bet on the weather, you can bet on sports, you can bet on pop culture. We currently in Minnesota have no legal sports gambling, but you could bet on a game in a prediction market. It's just so stupid. It's another example of the fact that the world figures out a way to get ahead of this stuff quicker than our government can regulate it. I don't know what the fix is, but I do think we could have had a better chance if we would have legalized sports gambling and figured out some guardrails. We'll keep following it. Taylor Rivera is coming up with the news in just a couple of minutes. Continental Diamond time check. It's 4:57. Time to get over to continentaldiamond.com. They've got a real nice savings event going on at Continental Diamond. Kind of a little reward for working your way through all the construction there. The flash sale only lasts through August 1st. 25% off estate jewelry and up to 40% off select timepieces.
You know the feeling when your body is tired, but your brain just won't shut off? We've all been there. Jordana here. That's where CBN comes in. CBN, short for cannabinol, is a naturally occurring hemp cannabinoid known for its relaxing, sleepy effects. Think of it like the lights dimming signal for your brain. While CBD helps you stay calm, CBN helps your body know it's time to rest. That's why we call it CB Night Night. Mini Leaf Night and Night Plus Sleep Gummies combine CBN, CBD, and CBG to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, and then wake up feeling refreshed. Go to minileaf.com, MINNELEAF.com, minileaf.com, the home of Minnesota's best legal products. And tell them Jordana sent you.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Real conversations, relevant information. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Following 2 weeks of renewed hostilities, the U.S. and Iran are pushing pause on airstrikes for now. The White House says to give diplomacy efforts center stage. At an economic event in Michigan, the president claiming Iran wants to restart talks.
We destroyed most of their drone manufacturing capability, their missile manufacturing capability. And right now they're talking to us about making a deal. But if we didn't do it tough, there would be no talk.
Sources tell ABC News the pause is also out of concern for the U.S. stockpile of air defense systems, including Patriots. The president speaking at a General Motors facility, he was touting new tariffs on trading partners, including Canada, along with the U.S. economy. New research from the nonpartisan think tank, though, shows many Americans are struggling to make ends meet.
Putting food on the table is taking money out of our savings. A new survey says nearly 1 in 5 American adults is dipping into savings just to pay for groceries. And more than 5% are being forced to use payday advance loans to buy food. The Urban Institute, which conducted the survey, says food costs are up 32% in the last 5 years.
ABC Sherry Preston, a food festival in the heart of Seattle, ending in gunfire, killing 3 and injuring 4 others. Police say 2 people were in a dispute and began shooting. 1 is in custody, a teen, they say, and authorities say it's a 15-year-old. Police Chief Sean Barnes say they're still looking for 1 other person.
There is a second shooter. We're trying to identify who that person is. Our officers need your help. If someone saw something, or perhaps if someone has some video, we need to identify that person.
Authorities say it appears to be gang-related. Brian Kohberger in a new court document signaling he plans to withdraw his guilty plea that he made in July of 2025 in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students, telling the judge,
"Have you had enough time to decide whether or not to plead guilty?" Yes.
Kohberger is currently serving 4 life sentences. He blames his plea on false promises, he says, and wrong information. You're listening.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Humid, 95 at 5:02. I'm Taylor Rivera. This hour's top story: a Michigan man accused of threatening federal agents and doxing a pro-ICE individual in Minneapolis pleaded not guilty in federal court today. 37-year-old Kyle Wagner was arrested in February. The Department of Justice says Wagner is a self-proclaimed Antifa member. He called for people on several occasions in January to impede federal immigration enforcement in Minnesota. He was charged with federal threat and cyberstalking charges following alleged murder and assault threats against ICE. A judge ordered Wagner to stay in Minnesota ahead of his next court hearing, which hasn't been scheduled yet. Governor Tim Walz and public safety leaders
for sure. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. It's Jason. I'm back after a week in Mexico City. And this hot weather, I've been checking, like, to make sure the house. Do you guys all have like remote thermostats and stuff just to make, I check it on the phone. And what I got again, just within the last couple minutes, they're going to turn off, they have these like XL Energy. Are you guys in these programs where like they shut off your air conditioner? They used to call it like Savers Switch. I don't know what they call it now. AC Rewards, Smart Thermostat Event. This is the email I just got from the electric company. Does that make it sound better if they call it an AC Rewards Smart Thermostat Event? Sometimes I look at taking part. So Dan lives in an apartment, so you don't have to deal with this nonsense, which is probably for the best, right? So like,
no, I just have to deal with completely different nonsense.
Well, you're dealing with the traffic nonsense.
Well, that nonsense, but I meant, in terms of the apartment.
Oh, the apartment.
That I had my wall unit go out, last Friday. So,
you did, yeah. That's dramatic.
It was not fun. Sleeping Thursday night was not good. So
here's the email from XL Energy. This just came in a couple minutes ago. Due to high electrical load conditions, which, by the way, if you are experiencing a high electrical load condition for more than 48 hours, please contact your doctor. Due to high electrical load conditions, an XL Energy AC Reward Smart Thermostat Event. Sounds fun, right? You're like, is there the kind of balloon, like squiggly guy at the Smart Thermostat Event? No, it just means they're going to turn off my air conditioner at 5:08 and it will end at 9:08. Did we hit peak electrical? They're like, when we're really going to be screwed? 5:08, 1 minute and 30 seconds ago. Thank goodness. So they adjust my smart thermostat by a few degrees for the duration of the event. It says at any time you may opt out by you go and you adjust your thermostat, and that's it. So I take part in this because why do I take part in this, Dan? Because I care about the environment. And I'm like, well, I want to be helpful. And like you get a little discount on the bill. Dan is speculating that my main motivation is to get a little.
I mean, maybe it's 60-40, but the 60 is the discount.
Carrie from White Bear just texted because she's like, I don't know. I looked this stuff up too. There are maybe two different programs. One is the Energy Switch, which gives you a rebate, which I'm going to tell you how massive this rebate is in a minute. And the other one is they shut it down during peak times. Maybe there's a difference between rewards and Saver Switch. I thought I was in both. But during the event, I can feel good that I have opted in to do something to help the electrical, what are we calling it? High electrical load conditions. Look, if there's one thing I don't want to be, I don't want to be a load. I don't want to be a high load situation. So I took part in the deal because I care and because I wanted the discount. Now, according to this email, is this supposed to make you feel better? It says, thank you for your willingness to participate. That's nice. You know what? You're welcome. And helping your community transition to a cleaner energy future. Now, I'm not certain I'm helping anybody transition to anything right now, am I? I don't think so. Friendly reminder to be on the lookout for your $25 annual bill credit later this year for your participation in the program. $25? I let Big Electric take control of my thermostat and all I get is a measly $25 a year? That's it? Texter says, can you virtue signal about your energy saver participation a little more? I hadn't thought about that. This whole segment is really designed for me to feel superior to those of you who don't give a load about the load. I care. Another texter asking, Jason, can you barter with Excel? I mean, I'm a pretty good haggler. And if you want to get that joke, make sure to check out the Drive Time with DeRusha podcast, because our first half hour dealt with a international situation that I created with the fine people of Mexico. Do you think now is a good time to talk about flying first class after I just complained about the fact that Excel only gives me $25? So for the first time, I flew first class. I know what you're thinking. You're like, Jason, I thought you were like a first class guy all the time. I'm shocked. No, I'm usually in steerage. If they don't have any room down where they store the luggage, they put me right next to the lavatory in the back of the plane. But this trip to Mexico City that I took with Alyssa last week was a trip for her birthday. She turned 50. She wanted a trip. We took a trip. And I thought, wouldn't it be a nice surprise, considering I usually buy the cheapest ticket that's available? Wouldn't it be nice if I bought first class? And I've always wondered what it's like, sitting up there as you walk from first class, you walk to the back. I like to sit in the back of the plane, and Dan, you know why this is the case. I like to sit in the back of the. Well, why would you guess?
You want to sit in the back of the plane because you want to give as many people as possible the opportunity to recognize that, hey, Jason DeRusha is on the plane as you board and then walk down the aisle.
It's a little like a receiving line at a wedding. As I walk down the aisle, first you get that, and I like if there's a little bit of a bottleneck, because first you get that moment of like, is that
the guy from the?
And then I can be like, how you doing? Yes, it is. Very famous. I didn't have to do that. This time I was in boarding group 1. The last time I flew on Delta, I was in group 8, which some texters wrote in and said that they had never
wasn't even aware there
they
was.
Didn't even know it got there.
Yeah.
That's how cheap I am with my ticket. First class, maybe a little overrated. Technically, flying to Mexico City, it's an international flight, but it's not a long haul flight. It's just a 4-hour trip. So you're flying on a regular plane. First class. I mean, the nicest thing was that because I get very annoyed when everyone lines up at the gate, as soon as the first announcement goes, like, all right, we're getting ready for our pre-boarding now. As soon as they say that, everybody's up and like you're going to, and I know why everyone does it is because they want to get their precious carry-on bag and that precious overhead container space. But I would say, knock it off. You're annoying. I find it annoying, the big bum rush to the gate. But you know what you don't have to deal with when you're in group 1? Anybody. You just stand there and then they let you in. And man, I will say, in general, flight attendants I find are incredibly nice. I have had so many great experiences on planes with friendly flight attendants. And the flight attendants working in first class are 3 times friendlier. So nice. Is it worth it? No. I'm saddened to report that it now, if your company's paying for it, hell yeah.
Well, that's a different thing.
But I think the reason I was able to get a relatively affordable first class ticket is because the traveler going to Mexico City on Saturday morning is not a business trip.
Right.
So what was the benefit? The seat is nice. bigger seat, tons of legroom. You sit down, there were waters, just
waiting for you?
awaiting. Yeah. How nice.
That's pretty nice.
And then you get offered like a pre-departure beverage. I was like, I don't even know what the options are.
Luxurious.
So that, in theory, was nice, but my flight was at 9 a.m.
So yeah, you're not
hitting it at 9 a.m.
Give me a tequila.
I waited till we got airborne.
Right. Like you do. I've only ever flown first class one time. And I would actually agree with you that it was, to me, not worth the price. I got offered an upgrade. It was a one-way situation, right? I'd already flown to my destination, and on the way back, they offered me an upgrade to first class. And I thought, well, I've never tried this before. It's not that much money. Why not?
Right.
I'll treat myself. Problem is then your ticket becomes a one-way ticket. And so now I'm a solo flyer, male, flying one way on first class, last minute change. You can imagine what my TSA experience would be like with those particular contextual clues.
Yeah.
That wasn't the most fun in the world. Then you get on and I don't know, all of the stuff that, you talk about, the little luxuries that come with it aren't really stuff that I care about on a flight.
Did you get a meal?
No. I don't, because I don't know if it was long enough flight.
I got a meal.
I might have actually turned it down because I didn't want airplane food. So it just,
I had a nice salad on the way home.
Yeah. You asked, when's the last time you think I ever uttered the phrase, I had a nice salad?
You know why I opted for the nice salad?
Because you're a healthy individual?
No, explosive diarrhea was no
to...
longer a concern for me.
Couldn't get any worse. Montezuma already hit you up.
Bring on the lettuce. What do you got?
How can this get any worse? Yeah, no, it didn't really do anything for me.
Yeah.
And so
you don't drink.
Nope. So I wasn't going to partake of any of that.
If I were flying overseas, so like my next trip is to Ireland.
I did inquire about a hot towel. They sort of gave me that. Yeah, we don't really do that anymore. What are we even doing? Come on.
Ask for a hot towel.
I just said, is that a thing still? Is that actually a thing? Your experience with the nice flight attendant?
That wasn't what
I
you
sort of
had?
got the patient eye roll, kind of like, no.
They're very nice, but yeah, was it worth it? Now the flip side is I'll report back because my next trip, I guess actually my next trip is taking Sam out to Los Angeles, back to college, and we're not going to be in first class. We'll be back to where we normally sit.
What is Sam thing? Is you do the parade down the center aisle and give people the wave? Is he a big fan of that?
Oh yeah, anything that Sam can make fun of me about is a win, for sure. Texter says, got upgraded to first class on a trip to Vegas. The drinks were flowing. The flight attendant came and reminded me that a drink at altitude is worth 3 on the ground. I said, thanks and keep them coming. Another texter, Dan is the only person that would be annoyed by an upgrade for free first class.
No. I didn't say it was free. I said they offered me an upgrade. So it was a reduced price from what you would normally pay for a first class ticket.
I see.
And yeah, I'm probably the only person that would have been annoyed about how that all worked out. That's fair. I mean, you're not wrong. It's just that small detail.
I mean, if Delta wants to sponsor me and I would happily, I would fly first. I would fly, I don't know. What else do they got? What are the business, comfort? There are 8 million different categories now. I have absolutely no idea. I will say on the way home, that was an afternoon flight. I was taking advantage of the free drinks. It's fine. It's not really free.
Especially in your condition. I don't think there's any reason not to.
It's not really free. Let's break. Dave Schwartz is coming up at 5:30. Some quick thoughts about endorsements, about appropriateness, and a controversy swirling in the lieutenant governor versus U.S. representative race for DFL Senate. We'll do that in just a minute.
Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on News Talk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Increase your vehicle's performance with Lucas Fuel Treatment at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Add it to your tank to eliminate carbon and varnish deposits. Get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for just $9, plus receive 2 times O reward points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, this is Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. We talk a lot about safety and responsibility on the roads, but we also want to listen. What messages do you think are important for us to share? And how are we doing? Please go to our website, hit the big red button, and share your thoughts. MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. I sincerely hope you're not in a collision, but if you are, please reach out to us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Lisa Damuth, a Republican who delivers results.
And I led the charge in rooting out billions in fraud and waste.
To stop the fraud, you need a governor who won't back down. Lisa Damuth gets the job done. Lisa Damuth understands to make Minnesota affordable again, we must fight fraud. Lisa Damuth knows to create good-paying jobs for Americans, we must stop payments to illegal aliens.
I led the way to end taxpayer funding of health care for illegal immigrants.
In the legislature, Republican Lisa Damuth fought the fraudsters. Now, Lisa Damuth's running for governor.
Let's start our Minnesota comeback right here and right now.
America's PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by America's PAC and not authorized by any other candidate or committee. AmericasPAC527.com.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
He creates a narrative that is advantageous to him. And frankly, at times it's disturbing.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Watch me.
Would you be turned off if it came out that a candidate for U.S. Senate sent a friend to go visit shooting victim John Hoffman in the ICU and, broach the idea of maybe he could endorse you? That is the controversy that's been swirling over the last couple of days as State Senator Hoffman at a rally for Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan told the crowd that Angie Craig sent a surrogate twice to try to get his endorsement. And look, this controversy is not the sort of thing I think that would really change anybody's mind. But it is the kind of thing that maybe like locks you in for your person. I don't know. I'm uncertain where Democrats are on this race. Today there was a debate between Angie Craig and Peggy Flanagan. And I have to say, with 2 weeks to go until the actual election day, there should have been so many more debates between these two, because it really, to me, is a very interesting choice in what I would have at the start of this campaign said these are two of my favorite people in Minnesota politics. You have Angie Craig, who not only flipped a Republican district to be able to get elected in the U.S. House, but she made it a lock, made it where she could have had that seat forever. You think, wow, that is a skilled politician. And then you see Peggy Flanagan, who has had an amazing story from working in nonprofits to becoming the lieutenant governor of this state. And you say, this should be very interesting. And instead, we have these two just sniping at each other. And, like Angie Craig is in the pocket of crypto and AIPAC. And, Peggy Flanagan is responsible for the fraud. And you think, like, what are we doing? What is this? So now John Hoffman tells everybody, well, Angie Craig tried to get my endorsement after I was nearly assassinated.
When her opponent would check on our family, she asked that I endorse her campaign.
No!
Yeah, she sent a dear friend out twice, once when I was in the ICU and once at our home. Honest to God, true story. And I'm being public about it because it really irked me.
I wish he hadn't been public about it, because who knows what the reality is. You're in the ICU, and I fully believe that what John Hoffman is saying is his belief. His wife has been very active on social media. And I believe their version is how they interpreted what was going on. Do I think Angie Craig would send someone into the ICU while John Hoffman is trying to recover, like in the moments after the shooting, which is what it sort of sounded like there? No, come on. No. Do I think there's anything wrong with asking for an endorsement, even of Senator John Hoffman? No. It's politics. He's a politician. He's a politician. What he did by making this public was a political choice. So while I look at John Hoffman and think, man, I just have nothing but respect for this man, for what he's been through, for what that family has been through, my God. And they are fully entitled to believe that Angie Craig is a sleazy, centrist Democrat politician. They're allowed to feel that way. They're allowed to share it, but they're also allowed to be judged for it. And I just, to me, is this significant in any way in understanding which one of these two would be better as a U.S. senator? I don't know. I don't think so. Not for me. I mean, is this a newsflash? Like, both of these two are very ambitious, somewhat ruthless politicians? Oh, golly, I can't believe it. Knock me over with a feather. Like, of course they are. Is it unseemly? Yeah, I guess. Is it? I don't know. I wish this wasn't a thing. I wish this wasn't an issue. The friend, by the way, it's been reported, was Paul Wellstone's son, who David Wellstone. And David Wellstone is a friend of Hoffman's, endorsed Angie Craig. And he says, he's like, Angie Craig, he told the Star Tribune, Angie Craig's a good friend of mine. Certainly, I've asked him to support her, but not in the ICU. That's nothing I would ever do. Kind of part of the nonsense, right? Part of the circus. Does this really matter? For me, no. For you, maybe. I don't know. Let's break. Dave Schwartz joins us in a couple of minutes. We will, 1 week for the Twins in the trade deadline, and a Minnesota championship over the weekend. We'll talk about it with Dave coming up.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Google is reportedly working on a new server chip that promises to improve AI model efficiency. The information reports that Google's new chip is codenamed Frozen V2 and that it could be between 6 and 10 times more efficient than the latest Google Tensor processors, which would be critical in overcoming the growing need for computing power to run the latest AI models being developed in the industry. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
So when do you need to start thinking about a will? Find out at gutmanlaw.com. What is a living trust, and do you need this? Find out at gutmanlaw.com. What about a power of attorney or probate? We'll get all the answers to your questions when you schedule a free attorney consultation at, gutmanlaw.com. It's Jordana. And I didn't know the first thing about wills, living trusts, estate planning, but I didn't need to. All I did was reach out to my friend Matt Gutman and his partner Jamie Reth Wagner. This is their focus: wills, trust, probate, estate plans. Now knowing that my loved ones will be taken care of no matter what helps me sleep at night. Don't wait until it's too late to get these things taken care of. You can schedule a free, no-hassle consultation right on the website. Say it with me, gutmanlaw.com. Gutmanlaw.com, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow. It's not just a slogan. I sleep better at night now that I have my estate plan in place. Thanks to Matt Gutman and Jamie.
Back to school
Can
starts.
you hear me?
Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell
Great.
XP laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core.
What's
so
this
you can
about
work
not
from
taking?
anywhere. Now starting
DeRusha ate a salad in first class. What the heck?
That can't really $5.99. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have
First
electronics
class?
and
I mean,
accessories.
like, they
Limited
had better
time deals
options
and
than
free
that?
shipping on
What's he
PCs and
flying,
more
Sun
await
Country?
you at Dell.com/deals.
They
That's
give you Ritz crackers and a
Dell.com/deals.
sweet.
Hey, it's Brew. Between my radio show, filming content, editing videos,
Holy
and trying to
cow.
stay connected with family, reliable Wi-Fi isn't really optional anymore. I just need it to work. That's why I like that with Xfinity, you get the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for
we'll be
5
hearing
years,
about 2.5.
guaranteed. No
All right.
contracts or commitments. Plus, Xfinity makes getting connected simple with same-day Wi-Fi so you can get online in minutes. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Levi is a 7-year member of LiUNA Local 563.
I'm proud to be a part of LiUNA, the Skilled Construction Laborers Union, earning good union wages and benefits for the work that I do. I'm one of the workers in the work zone as we repair and improve our most important infrastructure
Why does your
like
camera
roads,
look
bridges, and
like
city streets.
4K?
Please
Dan looks
slow
like he's
down when you
shooting
see
another-
orange cones and
Nokia.
yellow vests. We're building a better Minnesota.
For career opportunities, visit buildthenorth.com.
Oh, they scrap.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal. We got a big deal too, right, Mom? Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid.
Nice. Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9%
Good to see you,
APR for
buddy.
72
Been a
months on the
minute.
Hyundai Tucson, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends August 3rd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction.
By the way,
and
I
get
did
unlimited everything for just $35 a
television
month.
again last week.
Call
and I don't think I
1-888-FREEDOM
told
or
you.
visit Consumer Cellular online. or
Did
in
you
store
see
today.
it? I did. I did TV last week. I kept it very quiet in case I was terrible at it
35
again.
gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI
Stand by
survey.
Time to find out how it's moving.
Twin Cities Live, or what were you doing?
Twin Cities Live. It was the morning one, Minnesota Live.
Go down to place West 694 Central Avenue over to Highway 252, 35W northbound. Not a bad
The price
drive.
was right.
Up out of Roseville, more of a slowdown up ahead as you move past Highway 10. If you're over in the East Metro, you'll find 94 eastbound slows as you make way through downtown St. Paul. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
One of the hottest SUVs in America, the 3-row Kia Telluride and Telluride Hybrid. Luther Kia of Bloomington has a ton of them with $750 owner loyalty cash. Brand new facility now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Luther Kia of Bloomington. I'll be out there Wednesday getting new tires on my Kia. Check them out at LutherKiaofBloomington.com. Here's Chris Schaefer.
It's another hot and humid stretch of weather that rolls on. We'll fall back to 70 tonight. Partly cloudy the next couple of days. 92 tomorrow, up to 93 on Wednesday. Finally, some rain in the forecast. Looks like it would arrive late Thursday and spill into Friday.
It's hot. It's humid. It is 95 and sunny in St. Paul on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at LutherKiaofBloomington.com. Now let's get a Monday rundown on the weekend in sports, where Dave brings the analysis and Jason brings the snacks.
Get your popcorn ready.
Time for some fun talking ball and other stuff with Dave Schwartz on Drive Time with DeRusha.
Dave Schwartz is with us via video link up, where you can check it out at YouTube at the WCCO radio channel or the Facebook channel. Dave, you have comments on my meal choice on my first class experience?
Well, I just want to know why you picked a salad. I mean, there's so many options. I've only flown first class once, but I mean, there's more options than a salad, right?
So here are the options.
Yeah.
Because I went and looked up the in-flight menu, which you get this email. This is this is so luxurious to me. Like the email shows up and it's like your in-flight menu has landed. You're like, oh boy. That doesn't happen back in whatever, like group 8 that I'm.
What happens if you don't have Wi-Fi on the flight, though?
Well,
or in first class, you get free Wi-Fi?
They bring you a computer. It's amazing. So the options were a braised beef short rib, with passion fruit barbecue sauce, and I was like, I don't know about passion fruit barbecue. Then chicken fajitas. Which seemed absurd after spending a week in Mexico City. Like, I'm sure Delta's version of chicken fajitas were going to be great, but
they should really give that to you on the way there, not on the way back.
That's right. And cheese tortellini was the last, which seems silly.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went with the steak salad. It had steak on it.
Was that even an option? There were 3. I didn't hear you say steak salad.
So steak salad was so this is like the after the fact, you know what I mean?
There's a secret menu?
Yeah,
ordering off you're so exclusive that even in first class, there's more exclusivity.
That's right.
There's a secret menu.
So
and then meanwhile, you're getting the cookies in regular class, and that's it.
They actually come by. This is the nicest part. Maybe you would have liked this, Dan. Because they first, so like you take flight, and then they come by with like a little basket. So they offer you a drink, and they come by with a basket, and you could take like cookies. You could take, like a granola bar. They had like chips. They had all this stuff, and you take one thing because I don't know, like you're not used to getting anything. So I took
all of these.
Right. I took a thing of pistachios, and then the lady's still holding it there. Like, come on now.
That's it.
We know you don't belong here. I've seen your travel history. Please take another item. Like, why are you being so stingy?
That's the second thing they do. The first thing they do is close up the shade, the curtain between first class and the rest of us schmoes, so we can't see you. Pick your, judge your little, your choices.
I will say, this is the other dumb thing about first class, that the soap in the lavatory is so nice that I actually, I Googled it afterwards because I wanted to know what the soap was. And Alyssa's like, how did you find that? I said, well, I just Googled Delta first class soap. And there it is. Grown Alchemist.
Wow.
Is the name.
Fancy.
And it smelled lovely. Like, this is how the rich people live. Fancy soaps, like name brand soap.
Yeah.
I don't know.
In Coach, you're just getting what's left over of the bar. They just push them all together from a week, and that's what goes into the Coach bathroom.
Yeah. It definitely, so amusingly, and we will talk sports or we won't. I don't know. We'll do it whatever the hell we want. So on this trip, I'm posting like on Instagram and Facebook, just some of the places I was eating. And I got a message from a guy who's like, hey, I'm in Mexico City right now. I'm going to go to this place that I had posted from. So this guy was going to Maíz Ajo was the name of the place. And he, like maíz corn, and it was great. Oh, man, it was so good. So this guy like sends me a message, and then I run into him at the airport. He's like, hey, I'm the guy who messaged you.
Ooh.
And he was in first class, but like he belonged there. You know what I mean? Like he had the special tag on his luggage.
Yeah.
Like platinum medallion or whatever. I don't know what any of this is.
He knew to take more than one thing from the basket.
Or maybe he's there so often, it's like he's nonplussed by it. It's not even that big of a deal.
Oh, what a life to live. I got one first class flight one time. They upgraded me, and it was on a work trip, and it was to Chicago, and which is a 45-minute flight. My photographer Brandon and I got there, and we landed. No, we were getting ready to leave, and they said apologize. They said we're sorry, it's taking a little more time on the tarmac, and we said it's okay. Take all the time you want. It ended up being like a 2-hour flight. We're just sitting in first class, and it was wonderful.
Did you you took advantage of the
multitude? Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
We instantly put our seats back. I think we had multiple meals. I don't even know if there maybe was not a meal. It's only Chicago.
Well, if Aaron Lebo is listening, he was Mr. First Class who belonged there, but you still come to the guy who's slumming it for my food recommendations, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It feels so like
salad in first class.
Mark is asking how much more it was for first class. I think it was only like $200 more a ticket. So instead of $800, it was $1,000.
How long was the flight?
Well, I'll tell you, Minneapolis to Mexico City is maybe the most slept on, like long weekend trip destination, because you think, oh, it's far, oh, it's hot. It was a 4-hour trip, same time zone. They have direct flights every day. I mean, Alyssa and I are definitely going to go back. We were there for 8 days, so we really got to enjoy the museums and take a couple day trips and all of this. But it'd be awesome to do like a 4-day trip to Mexico City. I'm sure, prices vary, right, as they do on the airlines. So it's probably not always $800.
4-hour flight. Anything over 3 hours is worth it if it's manageable.
Oh, for first class, yeah. And and it was for Alyssa's birthday, like a special thing. But would I do that? On an overseas flight? Oh. Be nice, but usually it's like when I look, you look and you're like, oh, I'm not going to pay $800 more or something. That's crazy.
Oh, fly Coach one time overseas, and if that's all you need.
I know, it's like being on a bus.
I did it a couple times. It's not pleasant.
Yeah, must be nice though, Mister. I've been overseas a couple of times.
Well, I wasn't paying the bill, so they stuck us in the I think I rode next to someone's suitcase down below. If there was a cheaper flight, they would have put me on it. I'll tell you that much.
Stand by, Dave. I want to ask you about the Twins as they get close to the trade deadline. 1 week to go. It's sort of a tough situation for them, for sure. 3M Open and the Minnesota Vixen. They did it. You don't have to care. It's all right. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Good win.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
This trip to Mexico City, I wanted to find out, okay, if I go to JH & Sons, we know they have great suits. We know they're the wedding destination. We know they have a custom-made suit program. That's amazing. But what about a vacation? What about casual clothing for a trip? In Mexico City, it's like 75. So you're like, you need stuff that goes from day to night. J.H. & Sons took on the assignment, and boy, did they come through. So excited to encourage you to get out to J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. The team out there is amazing. Alicia, Chuck, Bryce, Dean, they've got you covered from date night to back to work. Read just last week that another Minnesota company, Medtronic, is sending people back to the office 4 days a week. Target is going to mostly be 4 days a week. Dress for it. Dress for the success that you deserve. And J.H. & Sons can help get you there. Galleria in Edina, that's where they're located. So easy to get to, tons of free parking. Visit their website. I want you to sign up for their VIP email list. jhandsons.com.
Now listen, you can get your news and info literally anywhere.
Fortune cookie? It says avoid 494 unless your heart is pure.
My best friend's sister's boyfriend's brother's girlfriend heard from this guy who knows this kid who's going with a girl who says the governor controls snow days with a laser.
When my left knee hurts, it means breaking news. Right knee means somebody touched the thermostat.
Or you could learn what's really going on by staying right here. News, weather, traffic, and smart conversation from voices you know and trust. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chad back here with you. I want to talk about trust and peace of mind. We all need it, in particular in some areas, including your insurance. Maybe it's for your business, or maybe it's more traditional with your house and your car. For me, I have trusted Amber Scholl and Associates with American Family for what are you guessing? 5 years, 10 years? No. My entire family, whether it's my father or my kids, with American Family, with Amber in particular, for 30 years. We dread something bad happening with our house, with a car accident, but we need people with expertise, with professionalism and availability, and that's what Amber and her team are all about. Reach out to them today. It's worth it. Trust me. 651-738-4811.
That refresh you've been putting off until the right deal came along? It's here. Wayfair's Black Friday and July sale is happening now, so you can finally get the style you've been waiting for less. Get up to 80% off area rugs and up to 60% off outdoor and bedroom furniture. Shop Wayfair's huge selection of styles and find the piece to fit your style, budget, and space. Plus, free shipping. Black Friday in July ends July 27th. Shop today at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
The Second World War is the largest event in human history.
A 20-part series with Tom Hanks.
No part of the globe was untouched. No life unchanged.
Experience the ultimate account of World War II.
Every single person had a story. These are the stories that make us who we are.
Listen to World War II with Tom Hanks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Oh, got your slowdown south 169, 494 as you head down to Old Shakopee Road. Up on the northwest corner, things looking good for 610, making your way between 252 and I-94, West 94, some slowing past 494, and over on the east side of the metro, 35 east southbound congested yet past Victoria Street. Jerry Peterson, New Talk 830 WCCO.
B&M Tree Services, certified arborists offering tree trimming, storm cleanup, and full tree removal with professional service at prices you can afford. Call 1-800-569-9034 or visit bnmtree.com. Trusted, professional, reliable.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast, it's hot, heat advisory until 8 p.m., low 70 tonight. Tomorrow, 92, Wednesday, 93. It's just going to be hot. Looks like, frankly, most of the week it's going to be hot. When do we get relief? Friday, if we get some rain. Right now, 93 and sunny on CCO.
Drive time with DeRusha.
Weird. It was startling. It's a little scary.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Let's give you a Continental Diamond time check. It is 5:51. Time to check out ContinentalDiamond.com, where they are having a flash sale right now. If you get to the website, ContinentalDiamond.com, they got a flash sale through August 1st, up to 40% off select timepieces, some limited time savings on select estate jewelry as well. So check it out at ContinentalDiamond.com. We're talking with Dave Schwartz. Dave, if you are the Minnesota Twins, what do you do? 1 week out to the trade deadline on Monday. You're still a 500 team.
Yep.
I don't expect a lot. I'm going to be honest.
If I'm leadership, I'm still watching. I mean, it seems silly because it's a week away, but there's still a lot of baseball to be played in that week, especially for where they are. The team needs pitching. Everyone knows that. Although, you know, they got some nice starts against Oakland. Granted, the Athletics are not really very good, but you're still piling up series wins. They're 3.5 games back in the Central, but they're only one game out of a wild card. I mean, the season is not. They're not out of it at all. So if they win a game or two this week, then you know what? I mean, this may be a move someone for a pitcher and see what you can do. Again, if you believe what they said at the beginning of the season, which is we're going in, we're going all in if we have the opportunity. Here's the chance to show it.
And they're in the window unless like this week is a disaster. It is crazy to think 1 week being make it or break it, but it sort of is.
I've seen it happen many years where you think that they're close, and then all of a sudden, I mean, 3 losses, 4 losses, depending on what else happens with other teams in the standings, can change everything. But also, this can be a start of a huge tear. We've seen it in years past where the Twins teams have done unbelievable things in August to make the postseason.
Fun series against Kansas City the next 3 days at home, 2 night games, and then a day game on Thursday, and then they go to Seattle. See where we end up by Monday.
And a great time to face the Royals. I mean, they're 11 games out in the Central. I mean, they're not playing great baseball right now, so good time to run into them.
Vikings have started their training camp that opens this week. Don't you I miss it being in Mankato. I got to be honest.
That was the only thing I miss. I didn't. I mean, honestly, like when it came up here, you lost all the fun, and I think we've talked about it before. All of its campness and all of the fun and extra stuff that you could get.
Yeah, like the guys on the bikes going to the dorm to
stop and getting a chance to talk to the players and just watch them interact with fans. And now it's just very sterile.
It's fine. So, like I get it. It's still fun, like to bring the family to go see TCO, but like.
It's still you still get to watch football and see your favorite players.
Most teams are sort of like this now, aren't they? Like less of the destination thing.
Well, there's 2 things. One, you can control the environment more in a place like TCO, and you can make money more. You charge people more to come in, and there's museums and food, and it's a bit more of an experience now.
WNBA All-Star Game was this weekend. Fun to see Olivia Miles kind of getting her moment.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. A rookie making the All-Star team. Not bad.
She's been so good. I mean, it keeps seeming weird to say, oh, a rookie does this, a rookie does that. And if when it happened to a Caitlin Clark or a Paige Beckers, Olivia Miles, I don't think anyone expected her. She was going to be good, but to be this good that she's done is incredible.
There was a little controversy, like apparently Caitlin Clark wanted like the players to play a little more competitive. I don't know. There's always
controversy with her.
The WNBA fans, crabby people. Nobody's ever happy with it. It's part of the growing pains of a league, I think, but it's like, my God.
But it also proves the legitimacy of the WNBA.
True.
Because the fans are never happy no matter what happens.
Yeah.
You've arrived, WNBA. There you are.
How about the Minnesota Vixen winning their first women's football championship?
And not just winning, they demolished. Was it Pittsburgh? Like they put up.
Well, don't
42
act like
points.
you don't know. How disrespectful to the women, Dave Schwartz.
I'm looking at it right now. The Pittsburgh Passion. They beat them 42-14. I think it was 28-0 before they even got to halftime, or something like that. It was 20 some odd, but it was a dismantling. Once again, all we do is win in women's sports. In
they
Minnesota.
broke the curse because they were 0-4 in championship games, much like the similarly profiled Minnesota Vikings of the
So you're saying there's a chance if they can do it,
yes,
the Vikings can too.
Oh, that's what the Vikings need down at training camp in Egan. How about a pep talk from Aaron Kelly?
Yeah.
Or Edie Halverson or Jackie Radford, kind of just blowing the roof off the joint.
Or watching the Vixen offense operate better than the Vikings one does. I don't know. Maybe that's not fair yet. We haven't even started training camp.
How dare you?
I know.
How dare you? Dave, thank you.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. We spent a whole segment talking about first class flights. Two guys who've been on one in their life. Proving that on this show we can kill a segment talking about it. Henry's done.
Are your checking and savings accounts feeling dim? Allow Luminate Bank to make